Peter Obi says it raw. He says it the way it is without any fear or favor. And that is why our politicians don't want him to become president, because he is very transparent.
Our president is from Katsina. Is it Dubai? No. I'm from Anambra State. Is it Dubai? No. So, show me where poor people have suddenly become rich because they belong to a particular religion. There's more poor people in the north, where Muslims are. There's huge number of them in the south, where Christians are. And I've never seen where they're selling bread cheaper because this. Poor people all over Nigeria are suffering. We, the politicians, in order to continue our activity, when it comes to election, oh, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian. In 4 years, 8 years, what did you do for Christians that made it different to show they should continue with Christians? We're looking to visionary leaders who can. If there's power in this country, power does not know who is Muslim or who is Christian. Everybody in this country knows how much we generate. This is the only country you know that. In other countries, you just put your switch on and off. Here, we know about national grid, national this, national everything. I've never been to any other country and they are talking like this. All you need is switch your light. Ask people who live in England, ask Pastor whether he knows how much they generate in England. He doesn't know. He doesn't know about national grid. He doesn't know about transmission line or this. Everything in Nigeria, you know all of them because it's not working. So we want somebody to generate power. Let him go and generate it for Muslims. We'll go there and live. Let him do the roads for Muslims. We'll drive past it. Let him build the bridges, build the schools for Muslims. Nigerians, I met Nigerian students in Egypt. They were Christians, but they went to Muslim country to read. So let's have functional universities for Muslims in the north. We'll go there and go to school. Because they'll teach engineering, law, everything. We'll read it and continue. Or show me where the Christian ones are. So let's forget about religion. We have issue with the country. The issue is fundamental. We need competent leaders who have the capacity to drive this process. What you have here is that we have people who have since passed their destination. So they are dragging us back. We want Paul to go to these young people who knew where they are going so they can get to their destination. Not have all this where you have drivers who are trained to drive old vehicles finding themselves in a Formula 1 competition. They're going to crash the car. That's what you're doing now.
Mr. Obi, is there a timeline in your mind that infrastructure in this country can sort of begin to stand up again?
Well, for me, we're looking at infrastructure as the physical infrastructure. The biggest infrastructure this country is lacking is the human infrastructure. You cannot deal with the physical infrastructure if you have not dealt with the human infrastructure. The human capital development in Nigeria is number 152 out of 158. So unless you fix the human infrastructure, you're wasting your time dealing with the physical infrastructure. And so you must invest in education. Education is critical. Unless you deal with the education. So you have millions of people who are not educated. And I'll give you an example. The average global intake of higher education, global, is 38. In developed world, is 52. In Nigeria, it's 9%. And your universities are closed for 4 years. Unacceptable. So you must deal with that building, because you need the human infrastructure. It is the human beings that you educated in school that can deal with the bridges, deal with the roads, deal with the construction. Look at Chinese people coming to do just our airport. Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? We're not going to hospitals in Egypt. People are going to school in Ghana. In fact, I met 2 students the other day who told me they're just coming back from Sudan. They just graduated. Wait a minute. What are you doing to this country? You need to invest in education, education, education. When you finish that, you deal with the critical areas of development. Nigeria was able to generate over 1,000 megawatts of electricity in the 60s. In fact, the first money we borrowed as a country was in 1964 September, when Tafa Balewa wrote the World Bank to borrow $82 million to build the Kainji Dam. So you were able to generate over 1,000 megawatts of electricity in the 60s. Almost 60 years after, you cannot generate 4,000. It's unacceptable. I just went to Egypt. They're doing 58,000. 100 million people. And they only added 30,000 in the last 5 years. All the people I met in the power plants and everything were engineers, Egyptians, trained in universities in Egypt. When I went to the ministries, they are the same thing. They were all educated in Egypt. This is not an African country. So you need to invest in your people in education. I visited all the states of Nigeria. There's no production because you have not invested in the people. Niger State, 76.3 square kilometers of land. They can't feed themselves. They can't feed Nigeria. Netherlands is 33,000 square meters. 33,000 square kilometers. They exported last year 120 billion worth of agriculture. A state twice their size, 2.5 times their size, and in winter cannot feed themselves. You have not invested in a human being. You need to do that investment. Taraba, 54.6 thousand square kilometers of land with Mambila Plaza, where you can do coffee, tea, and flour. Kenya exported 600 million worth of flour. Those who pick flour in Kenya paid $100. Ethiopia exported coffee, $1.1 billion. Can grow it there. Sierra Leone, with all their problem, 1.4 billion coffee, you can grow it there. Taraba cannot feed itself. They are waiting to share money from oil. What a country. You need to move this country from consumption to production. And it can be done. We cannot continue this way. So, for me, it is a different trajectory. That's why we need people like him who are in finance. I'm a trader. What I want to do is to see a country that is producing goods and exporting, and young people are using their talent and energy and everything. Let me tell you why I said human. Do you know that if you're a young man carrying computer in this country, you're a criminal? Countries are giving their young people computer. If you carry laptop, you're a criminal because you have not educated the country. We need to use our knowledge. It is a knowledge economy that you see today. Nigeria is still dealing with baggage economy. That's why every day they're looking for what to share, share. I want to remove sharing.
A new Nigeria is possible. It requires your effort and my effort. Let's build a new Nigeria. A Nigeria we all can be proud of. Please watch more of my videos. Thank you for watching.